Welcome to the Care Clinic Pod. I'm Emma, and this is Jones.
Ever tried opening a jar, and your hand strength just gives you the slip?
Yeah.
Or maybe even just buttoning your shirt is like a struggle these days.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you're not alone. Not even close, actually.
It's way more common than people realize. Nearly 1 in 4 adults have to deal with hand pain because of arthritis. That's a whole lot of people with achy, stiff joints.
It's true. And we always think, oh, arthritis, that's something for, when I'm older. But it actually can affect anyone, no matter your age, really. The bright side is, though, even doing some simple hand exercises can make a huge difference for managing pain, improving your mobility, all of that.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of what we're here for, right? To dive into those tips and tricks, the ones that actually work, to keep your hands feeling good and working well the way they should.
Absolutely. And we've got some really solid research to guide us today. Hand exercises for arthritis, alleviate pain and improve mobility is one. And of course, tips for maximizing the benefits of hand exercises. I was looking through these earlier, and I got to say, there's some really valuable stuff in here.
Oh, for sure. One of the things that jumped out to me right off the bat was how much they emphasize really understanding what's causing the pain in the first place. Because, saying arthritis, it's not like one specific thing. It's more like a whole category, right?
And I think that's where people get tripped up, because we hear arthritis and we think, okay, well, that's that. But the research here talks about osteoarthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, even psoriatic arthritis. So I think it'd be helpful to break those down a little bit. What are the key differences we need to know about?
Absolutely. So osteoarthritis, that's the one we hear about the most, right? It's basically like, think of it as wear and tear on your joints. It's just over time, that cartilage that cushions your bones, it starts to break down. And that's what leads to the pain, the stiffness, even that like grinding feeling that some people experience.
Okay. So osteoarthritis, it's like the mileage on your joints, basically.
Exactly.
Okay. What about rheumatoid? What's going on there?
Rheumatoid arthritis, it's a bit more complicated. It's an autoimmune disease, which basically means that your body's immune system it's kind of attacking itself. It's confused. And in this case, what happens is it attacks the lining of your joints. So that's where you get the inflammation. That's, a lot of the pain and the stiffness is coming from that.
So it's like your immune system's a little overzealous, and it's like fighting the wrong battle.
Exactly. And then psoriatic arthritis, that one's connected to the skin condition psoriasis.
Okay.
And again, researchers think that it's also an autoimmune condition, but it specifically targets the joints.
So different types, different causes, different ways it plays out, but they all kind of lead back to hand pain, stiffness, all of that. And what I think is so interesting is how much these symptoms, even if they're like small at first, can really start to impact your daily life.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. The research gives some examples that I think a lot of us can relate to. Just imagine you're trying to open a jar, button up your shirt, even just grabbing a pen to write something down. We take these things for granted. But when you've got hand arthritis acting up, those everyday tasks, they become really difficult.
You don't realize how much you rely on your hands until even the little things start becoming like a big effort.
Right.
It's not just the physical part either, right? There's the emotional side of it, the social aspect.
Oh, definitely. Think about it. Like even just shaking someone's hand. If you're self-conscious because your hand is stiff and painful, or maybe, I don't know, you love to cook or you play an instrument, and hand pain is the thing that's holding you back. It affects so much more than just, your hand.
It's so true. And that's, I think, why we're doing this deep dive, because we want to kind of give you guys listening the tools, the knowledge. You don't have to just live with these limitations. Even if you have hand arthritis, there are ways to manage the pain, get those hands moving better, and just get back to doing the things that you love, honestly.
That's where those exercises come in. And the best part, you don't need a fancy gym membership. You don't need any special equipment. You can do a lot of this stuff anywhere.
That's key. Because I think we can all agree, if it's convenient, if it's easy to fit into your day, you're way more likely to actually do it. So let's talk about the why. Like, why are these exercises so good for your hands if you've got arthritis?
So it boils down to 2 big things. First, you're boosting blood flow. And second, you're strengthening all those muscles that support your hands. When you exercise, you're increasing blood flow to that area, which means more oxygen, more nutrients are getting to those tissues. And that helps reduce inflammation, which is a big part of what causes the pain in the first place.
So more blood flow equals happier joints.
Right. Happier, healthier joints.
I like it.
And then the strengthening part too, that's really important too. Those muscles in your hands and forearms, they're like the support system for your joints.
Okay.
So when those muscles are strong, they're taking some of that pressure off the joints themselves, which can mean less pain overall and just better function.
So it's like having help. It's like if you're trying to move a big piece of furniture and you've got a bunch of strong friends to help you, you're not going to hurt your back.
I like that analogy.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Exactly right. And the best part is that these exercises, they're designed to target those specific muscles in a way that's safe and effective, even if you're already feeling some pain.
Okay, so let's talk more action.
But,
Let's hear about these hand-saving exercises.
all right, so let's start with stretching. One of my all-time favorites, and this one's mentioned in the research too. It's called the fingertip touch.
Yeah, I was reading about this where you touch your thumb to each fingertip, kind of like making a circle with each finger.
Yeah.
It seems
Right.
pretty basic.
It is. It's simple, but it's so effective. You hold each of those touches for just a few seconds. It creates a nice, gentle stretch, and that can do wonders for keeping your fingers flexible. You know what they say, use it or lose it. This is how you keep using those fingers to their full potential.
Yeah, especially as we get older, I feel like that becomes even more important. Like if you're noticing it's harder to button your clothes or to pick up small objects,
Mhm.
things like that.
Absolutely. Speaking of everyday tasks, though, another great stretch is the fist stretch.
Okay, so that's the one where you just make a fist gently, of course,
Yeah.
and then extend your fingers back out.
You got it. You got it. And it's amazing for both your fingers and your wrist. And again, the key word there is gentle.
Yeah.
We're not going for like a world record grip strength here. Just a nice, easy, comfortable stretch.
And this is where having those like visual descriptions in the research that we're working with, it's so helpful. You can really like picture it and almost feel the stretch.
Yeah, visualization is huge. It can be really powerful.
Okay, so we've got stretching. What about strengthening?
All right, so for strengthening, we definitely want to incorporate that into our routine. And like we talked about before, you don't need any special equipment.
Yeah, I loved that about the research, that it really emphasized using everyday objects
Yeah.
to make it easy and accessible.
Exactly. So let's say you're in the kitchen, you're making dinner, grab a can of soup or a bag of rice, something with a little bit of weight to it.
Okay, so I've got my soup can.
Yeah. All right. So with that, you can just do some simple bicep curls or some wrist curls, 10 to 15 repetitions a few times a day, and that can really make a difference in your grip strength over time.
Wow, really? Just with a can of soup?
Yeah, it's amazing what you can do with everyday objects. And if you're not quite there yet with the soup, can the research also talked about using a rubber band?
Oh, yeah, for resistance training.
Exactly. That's one of my go-tos, especially for building dexterity. Just loop a rubber band around your fingers and then gently spread them open against the resistance. It's a really good way to target those small muscles in your hands, the ones that we need for all those fine motor skills.
Yeah, I've tried those before, and they're harder than they look.
That's a good sign. That means it's working.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
What else? What other exercises should we have in our arsenal?
So another one that I really like is called the finger walk.
Finger walk. Tell me more.
All right, so picture this. Your hand is flat on a table. You lift your thumb up just slightly, and then one by one, you lift each finger up to touch your thumb. It's like your fingers are taking a little stroll across the table.
Okay, I can see it.
Yeah, so it's great for coordination, finger strength, all of that. And again, you can do this one anywhere. You can be at your desk watching TV, waiting for the water to boil.
All right.
It's all about those little moments throughout the day where you can give your hand some attention.
I like it. Sneaking in some hand health wherever you are.
Exactly.
And that makes me think about the tips for maximizing the benefits section of the research. Because it's one thing to know the exercises, but it's another to actually do them regularly and make them stick.
Absolutely. Could not agree more. And you know what? One of the simplest but most effective tips is consistency.
Okay.
It's so much better to do a few exercises every single day than to try and like cram it all in once a week, you know?
That's where I fall apart. I think I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to do this. And then life happens.
I get it. We're all busy. But even just 5 or 10 minutes a day can make a world of difference. Think about it like brushing your teeth. You're not going to brush your teeth once a week and expect to have a sparkling smile.
True. Make it a non-negotiable. Just like brushing your teeth or taking a shower, hand health is important.
There you go. And actually, speaking of making it a habit, what about reminders?
Reminders, like setting an alarm or something.
Yeah, exactly. Or, even a visual cue, like a sticky note on your bathroom mirror or on your computer screen, whatever works for you to just kind of jog your memory.
Those little things make a big difference.
Huge. They really do. And while we're talking about reminders, this might be a good time to mention a tool that I found really helpful for staying on track with my health goals in general, not just for hand exercises. Have you heard of the Care Clinic app?
Oh, yeah, actually.
Mm.
We were talking before the show, and you mentioned that you use the Care Clinic app. I was saying how I struggle with routines, and you were like telling me all about it.
Yeah, no, it's true. I use it. I'm a fan. And not just because, I might be a little biased, but because it really does help. I think what I like most about Care Clinic, especially for something like hand exercises, is it takes the guesswork out of it.
Mm.
You can put those reminders right in your schedule.
Yeah.
You can track your progress so you can see how you're doing over time. You can even keep notes on your pain levels, how your mobility is changing, all of that.
Okay. Yeah. See, that's what I need. I
Yeah.
need that like accountability. It's almost like having a workout buddy, but for your hands.
That's a great way to put it.
It's like a buddy that won't let you skip.
Exactly. Plus, it has visuals and stuff built in. So even if you forget exactly how to do like the finger walk, or you're like, wait, how did that soup can curl go again? It's all right there.
It's so key. Because sometimes I'll be doing an exercise. If I haven't done it in a while, I'm like, wait, am I doing this right? Am I hurting myself? I don't know.
Totally. And that's another thing I like about Care Clinic. They've got really clear instructions, a lot of times even videos. So you're doing it right. You're getting the most out of it. Not going to hurt yourself.
All right. You've convinced me. Downloading it after this. I'm all about anything that makes this whole healthy living thing easier and something I can stick with.
For sure. And, as we kind of wrap up this deep dive, it's important to remember taking care of your hands, it's not like a one and done kind of thing.
Right.
It's a journey.
Like with anything you want to improve, it's about consistency. It's about self-care.
Yeah. And sometimes I think we forget that even making small changes can make a really big difference. Just like those small, consistent hand exercises, over time, it can make a world of difference in how you feel, your mobility, all of it.
I love that. It's about those little things you do every day, making them work for you, not against you.
Absolutely. So, for everyone listening, as you go through your day, just start to pay attention. How much are you using your hands? And what's one small change, one little thing that you could do differently? Just to show them some support. Maybe it's, I don't know, adding a few hand stretches to your morning routine, or like we were talking about, setting a reminder on your phone to do some finger exercises while you're waiting for your coffee. Or maybe even just being mindful of your posture while you're working at your computer.
I love that because it's
So-
not about changing everything all at once. It's those little things that add up over time.
Exactly.
Well, on that note, I think we're going to wrap up our deep dive into hand health for today. We hope you guys found this helpful, useful, and most importantly, that you can actually take something away from this and apply it to your own life. Because remember, information is great, but it's what you do with it that matters.
Absolutely. And if anyone listening wants a little extra support, we talked about the Care Clinic app. You can find a link to that in the show notes.
Awesome. All right. Until next time, everybody, take care of those amazing hands, and we'll see you on our next deep dive.